Thank you for checking out Murder Dictionary Podcast. I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer that we are still learning the ropes of audio and podcasting in general. The sound quality and content will get better as we get more experience, so please bear with us through this learning curve. We focus mostly on the murderers, so some listeners may feel that the subject is approached too lightheartedly and with a lack of focus on the victims. Although we want to be sensitive to that, we cannot help but focus on the details or facts that we find most fascinating. And for us, that is often the life of the murderer and the details of the crimes. We appreciate you checking us out and hope that you are also interested in the stories that we are intrigued enough by to explore. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
With the Quicksilver card from Capital One, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Unlimited? Unlimited? Unlimited! 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 Any way you say it, earning unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase just sounds good. Capital One. What's in your wallet? What's in your wallet? What's in your wallet?
Capital One Bank USA, N.A.
Hello, and thank you for checking out Murder Dictionary Podcast. Before we start, I just wanted to let you know to check out our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. We're pretty much everywhere. Backpage, all that good business.
That's my favorite.
That's where you can find Kelly. My name is Brianna, and with me is Kelly.
Hey.
So today, our subject is going to be double lives. There's a lot of people that have double lives like BTK and Iceman, but we're going to look at some cases that maybe are a little lesser known. So psychologists say that this destructive duality can stem from a person's inability to integrate two conflicting opposite sides of their personality. People who are not able to merge the different aspects of their personality can end up splitting off the different aspects of their psyche. They begin to compartmentalize their lives by creating two different selves who behave in opposing ways. For these individuals, it becomes imperative that they protect this duality by maintaining each compartment and covering their tracks with lies. I feel like this starts really young. I feel like this starts even in childhood, where as a kid, you've got to have this one part of you with your friends and this other part that's super goody two-shoes with your family. I feel like this even starts early and is super normal and relatable. But of course, when it comes to murderers, they take it too far.
Yeah, I always remember being everyone's parents would be like, "Oh, she's so polite,
right?
Thank you." And then I'd go with my friends, and I'm the one who's got the weed or,
right.
or the alcohol,
egging everybody on to be the bad kid.
Just smoke it, man. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm here, So.
Yeah, I feel like I had a similar experience. I feel like everybody's parents loved me, but I was like, "You guys don't know me. I'm awful."
I'm the one corrupting everyone.
Seriously, it was bad. To some extent, this duality exists in the lives of most people. Most harmless manifestations of this is as simple as daydreams, but individuals with more extreme versions of this, of course, begin to act those out and build double lives and basically turn into murderers. Or cheaters or some sort of obsessive gambler and drug addict. I feel like it's just, when you take that double life building to the extreme, that's kind of where it goes.
I love daydreaming.
Honestly, that's just my biggest hobby is daydreaming.
Yeah, I miss doing it in school. School was so awesome because there'd be a cute guy and I'd be like, I'm going to just daydream all day about not being in this desk.
Yeah, I feel like that's the reason I miss school the most. Was there was so much free time to daydream.
Yeah, think about your future.
Right? I guess I was learning a little bit, but mostly I was just daydreaming. Yeah. So, Yale professor of psychology Jerome Singer says daydreams are often private and secret, but most are not dangerous. Everybody has daydreams at one time or another, and usually they're playful, happy, and forward-thinking. You imagine yourself in a different career, you see yourself playing quarterback for the New York Giants, and,
you know. My number one daydream. That's top daydream right there.
That's like number 2 or 3 for me.
Just a badass quarterback, you know. That'd be so cool.
I'm imagining you in all this padding.
Yes, just looking at dudes' butts all day. The crowd's cheering for me. Oh my God.
You know what? This dream is sounding better and better.
Yeah. Then the locker room.
It's moving up to 1 or 2 for me.
Fuck the game. I just want to be in the locker room. That's where my daydream occurs. Towel fights.
I'll set this one out, you guys. You can bench me. I'm just coming to the locker room after.
Jimmy, you need a back rub? I got you a fresh towel.
You look real tight.
Yeah. So sore. Let me put some Bengay on that. Just rub it out. Yeah, I'm on the team. I'm not here for fun.
Psychologists say that it is common for normal, well-adjusted individuals to have a public self and a private self, but a select few can go too far when exploring their negative impulses, leading to patterns that are dangerous and destructive. Like I said before, gambling, cheating, murder.
The M word.
Right? What makes killers with double lives fascinating is that these individuals are leading, quote, normal lives, just like us and our friends, our neighbors. When a killer is an outcast who has trouble fitting into society, we are able to feel safer by believing we can identify those who threaten our well-being. When a killer is a respected member of our community, our sense of safety is challenged by the fact that evil has gone undetected.
Yeah, that just shatters your whole reality because someone that you knew, thought, trusted, was respectable. Like, how could anyone do something so awful?
And I feel like I question everything when something like that happens. When I feel like I'm a bad judge of character and I like let someone in my inner circle or whatever and it didn't work out, I feel like, what the fuck? I question, okay, is this person okay? Is that person okay? Yeah. I feel like that's the natural conclusion, you know?
You got to just retest everyone. Everyone's got to go through an interview process. How often do you daydream?
Have you ever considered joining the New York Giants?
Are you ahead of your church?
Seriously. That's the big one.
Oh, you're a priest.
Oh well. Interesting. I'm writing that down.
I'm just making notes.
No big deal.
Cut from the team.
I feel like that's what makes double lives and this subject and this episode most intriguing to me, was just that it's scary and that you start rethinking everything because, you know, your lack of judgment or whatever, or that it could happen. Anyone, like anyone could be a murderer. And it's really rare that you see in interviews that the family members or neighbors or whatever are just like, yeah, I knew he was a creep the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, of course, this whole episode is going to focus on people that had the extreme version of that. But it seems pretty common that they go undetected.
I wonder how many, like, just out of my hitchhiking days, just out of the people I've met from hitchhiking, how many of those people went on to murder? Because they were all great conversation. Like, I would have jumped out of the car if they weren't. So.
And they're always super dynamic and interesting and, confident and
seem genuinely nice. And
man,
really just wanted to give me a ride home, not look at my panties or something.
Oh my goodness. I think there's an area that you see this a lot is also, like the church, like you mentioned, or in the medical field, like doctors, nurses with God complexes and whatnot. There's a lot of cases, that exhibit that kind of duality. I don't know where it starts, but that's the career path that it leads them down. So these healthcare professionals follow the desire to heal and save lives, as well as the God complex that drives an individual to experiment and extinguish human lives. So Kelly is going to kick it off with someone that fits into that category. She is a nurse known as Jane Toppan.
Let's kick it. So, Honora Kelly, a.k.a. Jane Toppan, was a double D. She was a double D doctor of death. Okay. So there isn't much detailed information about Toppan's early years. It is known that her birth name was Honora Kelly, and she was the daughter of Irish immigrants. Her mother, Bridget, died of tuberculosis when she was just an infant. Her father, Peter, was well known as an alcoholic and eccentric, nicknamed by those who knew him Kelly the Crack, which I guess in old time slang, crack was short for crackpot.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I haven't heard anyone ever say crackpot. Like,
I'm calling myself Kelly the Crack because I'm as addicting as cocaine or crack cocaine.
You're intoxicating.
Yeah. Or my ass crack is out all the time. So.
Always got that plumber's crack rocking.
Need to bring back the thong hanging out like the Britney
the whale
Spears
tail.
thong. Yes, yes, a whale tail.
Yeah, rock that whale tail.
Oh my god. Okay, so her father was the subject of many local rumors about his insanity. The biggest rumor was that his madness finally drove him to stitch his own eyelids closed while working as a tailor.
What the fuck?
Couldn't start on anything else. Like, just do some jeans up
Right?
real quick.
Like, let me practice a little bit. No, straight to the eyeballs.
Couldn't you, like, check if that rumor is true or not? Like,
Yeah, I feel like that would be easy because it just...
you just go check.
Everywhere you go to research this, they're like, it was rumored. And I'm like, that rumor has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's true or it's not true. Nobody would say that. That's kind of a wild thing to make up. Like, a rumor is like, hey, maybe he cheated on your mom. But no, he sewed his fucking eyelids shut.
Yeah,
like, you know that that's true because of how extreme and, like, crazy and imaginative that it is.
Yeah, but wouldn't he have, like, scars? Like, wouldn't have someone been like, I feel like that would have been...
That's
like,
so gnarly to even think
he's
about.
got 4 fucking holes on his eyes because he just, hey, you know, fucking Peter, what happened to your eyes? Oh, just sewing them shut one day. They were a little
No
loose.
big deal. Got to keep them in. They're popping out.
It's like the first plastic surgery ever. Son.
He's just a trailblazer.
Yeah. In 1863, Peter took his 2 youngest children, the 8-year-old Delia Josephine and 6-year-old Honora, and her 8-year-old sister, to the Boston Female Asylum, an orphanage for indigent female children. The 2 young girls never saw their father again. Records from the asylum state that the 2 girls were rescued from a very miserable home. That's
saying a lot when going to the asylum is like the better option than your home.
I think the dad was sewing his eyes shut because that's not good.
That's awful.
In November 1864, Honora Kelly was placed as an indentured servant in the Toppan home in Lowell, Massachusetts. Honora took their last name and eventually changed her first name to Jane. I mean, I forgot, it's 1864, but indentured servants, that's...
Yeah.
It's foster children, but now you just have to do chores.
It's also just like child labor.
It's exactly. It's like,
just, I mean, I know it happened to adults, but it's still just, I mean, that's awful. Just this free labor working them like crazy.
Because someone didn't want them.
Yeah.
Like they got taken from their home, you know.
What a miserable life.
You go from somewhere shitty to even shittier.
Right. And they're saying that the shittier version is actually the better version. Like, fuck.
Okay, so Jane excelled in school and seemed to be a completely normal adolescent until she was abandoned by her fiancé. So after the breakup, she attempted suicide twice and began exhibiting odd behavior that included claims to be able to predict the future through analysis of dreams. Around this time, her sister, Ellen, was committed to the asylum like their father after suffering a mental breakdown.
So she just turned into Miss Cleo because someone broke up with her?
Yeah. Fuck. I want to do that.
Right? That sounds awesome. I've had a lot of breakups and been really unproductive.
I'm just going to start reading horoscopes after each breakup. Right? Just to all my friends be like,
I can tell the future. It's a superpower I had by losing that dick.
You know, once your vagina stops working, you know, all the blood goes back to your brain.
Right, you can think again, and you can, like, see to the future through your third eye.
Yeah. One hole closes, the other eye hole opens.
Exactly.
So, in 1880, Jane began studying nursing at a hospital in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Once again, she excelled in school, but supervisors and colleagues were disturbed by her obsession with autopsies.
Yeah, like, I think her supervisor must have pulled her aside, like, hey, so I'm going to do your review now. You're doing really great. You're learning a lot, but maybe can we talk about the dead bodies you really like a lot?
Needs improvement. Just
fuck.
So you're staring at bodies a lot, just trying to cut them open.
We noticed that your break time really extends pretty far because you're spending time with the cadavers. I think you cuddled a couple of them. I'm not sure. No. I wasn't obsessively watching you, but I know that it happened, so maybe knock it off.
So just, yeah.
Get back from your lunch on time.
We're going to put you on a coaching plan. Just stupid. So during her residency, she experimented on her patients with various medication cocktails to see what it did to their nervous systems. She would spend a lot of time alone with those patients, making up fake charts and medicating them to come in and out of consciousness. Then often getting into bed with them and holding them until they died.
See? Like I said, too much cuddling with dead people.
That's just...
It's not good.
She dopes them up and then
This is going
cuddles.
on your permanent record. Damn.
Like, is Jane laying next to the body? Like,
you saw that, right?
Yeah. I'm not tripping. It is not known whether she also sexually assaulted her victims when they were in this state, but when Jane was asked after her arrest, she divulged that she derived a sexual thrill from patients being near death, coming back to life, and then dying again. And that's so fucking gross. It's almost like the whole bag where they put it over your head and then suffocate you, and right when you're about to die, they let go, and then they suffocate you again, and then...
Wait, what are you talking about?
When someone's strangling someone with a plastic bag over their head, they'll give them a little bit of air.
Yes,
and
sorry.
then back and forth, and then go... What did you think I was
I thought you were talking about personal experience for a second. I am very sorry.
I am into autoerotic asphyxiation, so...
That was terrifying. I was like, my friend's gonna die.
No, I just hold my own breath. I don't need bags included.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm down with that. But yeah, I know what you're saying about the plastic bags now.
Yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. This is uncommon for female serial killers who usually murder for material gain and not sexual satisfaction.
Yeah, I feel like the bag situation and all sorts of stuff is usually dudes that just really enjoy seeing someone die. Mm-hmm. And there's so many serial killers that actually that's how they got into it. Like, Gacy's a good example of that, where his first murder was an accident.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that? Did we talk about that? So, like, he accidentally killed someone and then came and was like, oh, I liked that. That's my thing.
Fuck.
And then started murdering people. Like, he wouldn't have known unless he had that accident. And I that's insensitive to call it for his victim, you know? But that's really what it was.
Don't knock it till you try it. I know what I'm doing tonight.
I'm busy, you guys. I have plans.
So many plastic bags, like the thick ones, too, not the shitty. Like, I'm so excited. All right, so she was fired for administering opiates too recklessly after 2 patients died mysteriously while in her care. She left the nursing program without her certificate, but decided to forge the paperwork so she could find work as a private nurse.
I feel like that was so easy to do back in the days. Like, if you needed to forge something now, it would just be like on the computer. There would be some sort of record of it. There would be somewhere you could call and be like, yeah, you didn't graduate from that university.
The school.
Right. But back in the day, you could just do anything. You could disappear completely. You could change your identity. You could forge your credentials. Like, what the fuck? I honestly am significantly jealous of that.
Yeah.
All the time I'm like, I just want to run away and start a new life.
Yes. I'd be a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse.
I would change my career like every 2 years.
CPA. Right? Yeah.
I would do all the jobs.
Mm-hmm. That would be great. Over the next 2 decades, she was hired by many families to care for the ill, but few of Toppan's patients managed to survive her care. She began her poisoning spree in earnest in 1895 by killing her landlords. In 1899, she killed her foster sister Elizabeth with a dose of strychnine.
Strychnine.
No, it's strychnine.
Really?
Yes, that's one of the words.
Oh my God, thank you. I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
That's what I thought it was, and then I looked on YouTube, and then I found out that it also is a pesticide used, obviously for pesticide things, and to kill rodents and birds.
Damn.
So, strychnine.
Wow. I literally have been saying it wrong my entire life. I mean, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I don't say that word very often.
How many times a day do you use it in a sentence? What the fuck? It's
on my word of a day calendar. So, March 31st all day.
So yeah, it's a fucking terrible poison. Which is
That is just poisoning is, I mean, I feel like I'm going to say this every episode, but that's just one of the ways that I'm really terrified.
Yeah, because you don't notice it. And then this anxiety comes in and you're just like,
your body is just shutting down. Like, oh my God, that's terrifying. And there's nothing you can do about it, even if you know where it came from. Like, whew, damn.
On July 4th, 1901, an old friend, Maddie Davis, died under Jane's care at Cambridge, and Toppan accompanied the body home to Cadavers, Massachusetts for burial. The Davis family decided to retail Jane Toppan as the family nurse. Jane went on to murder the daughter, Annie Gordon, on July 29th. Then the father's death a few days later was blamed on a stroke. The surviving daughter, Mary Gibbs, was pronounced dead on August 19th.
You're just rolling through the entire family.
She went ham in a month.
She went ham with that murder, y'all.
You get some poison, and you get some poison, and you get some poison.
She's the Oprah of strychnine.
I'll get poison. So Mary's husband demanded an autopsy. He seems to be the only sensible one so far. Like, no, I mean, I guess because there's no digital, there's nothing. They can't trace how many
records
people.
are just not there.
So
but
fucked.
Still, you've got to think there's family members that are like, yeah, she was fine and healthy last week, so what the fuck did you do
after the first person?
Yes,
like come on,
that is crazy to me. Damn.
Okay. So Mary's husband demanded an autopsy, and lethal doses of morphine were found in all 3 victims.
I mean, morphine's better than strychnine.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
That's the only thing I was thinking. Was just like, okay, morphine, that's cool.
They probably weren't as anxious as we were just talking about. They were just chill as fuck. Like, I feel so good.
Nirvana. I'm dying.
Yeah. You know what I need? Like, rat poisoning. That would just...
You know what would really round out this Nirvana? Dying of rat poison.
What did Nirvana sound like in 1901? Oh my God, it's all like the creepy, like you have to play it on one of those like spinny, like what is that stupid loud music?
A record?
No, they have the wind up ones.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is that a record? No. Because I'm really off. I thought you put the needle.
I forget what the name is of those, but I know what you're talking about.
But it looks like the end of like a tuba.
Yes, exactly.
And then they wind it up and then just creepy Nirvana.
Just really slow.
Okay. Jane returned back to her hometown and began courting her foster sister's husband. She killed his sister and administered small doses of poison to him so she could win his favor by nursing him back to health.
Damn.
Captain Sabo. She's like, oh, baby,
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, I'll make you some soup. You're not feeling good. I'll take the day off from work. I got you, boo. She even poisoned herself to evoke his sympathy.
That's deep.
That's a lot. Yeah, like a lot of girls, I mean, a lot of people do that. You know, they hurt themselves to make someone stay. That's definitely...
I guess, like girls that cut for Bieber or what?
I mean, Bieber doesn't give a shit, but like someone like, well, like, you know, I'm going to go drive like all fucked up and I'm leaving the house and, oh, you don't know about chaotic drunk times.
No, I mean, I had an ex-boyfriend send me some like gnarly videos of himself and I don't know, whatever. Why am I talking about this?
What was he, like dick pics? Or
he was just like, I'm going to kill myself.
Oh, see what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just
like...
it'll evoke emotion from you and you'll be like, no, please, I love you. Like, stop, you're being fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, here's the suicide hotline number. I'm actually going to call the cops on you.
Okay, so she fed a lethal dose to her foster sister, and she was working on another patient when police arrested her. By 1902, she had confessed to 31 murders, but many believe a more accurate death toll would be between 70 and 100.
Yeah, because if she spent all that time working in the healthcare field, she had way more access than 30.
Yeah.
Like, there's way more patients she worked with, you know?
How does she get a job? Like, if your death rate is so high, like, aren't they like, maybe they should be like...
I'm going to call your fucking references. Yeah. That's what someone should have been doing.
No references checked at all, dude.
God
this
damn.
is shit. Again, 1901.
I mean, that's maybe she just put everybody, like, her friends on her references.
Yeah.
And like a lot of us do. Like, call my friend Kelly. She was my boss.
Yeah. Dial 2 for my friend Kelly. They don't have emails either, so
right?
How are they going to contact? They're like, he works at the bread shop down the street. You can go talk to him. By 1902, she had confessed to 31 murders, but many believe a more accurate death toll would be between 70 and 100.
Sounds better.
Mm-hmm. No accurate list of her hospital victims were ever compiled, and many families wished to avoid the scandal by refusing official requests for exhumations and autopsies. In Toppan's own testimony, she told the court, "My ambition is to have killed more people, more helpless people, than any man or woman who has ever lived."
Damn.
Ambition. Like, setting goals.
I want to be the boss bitch of murder, you guys.
Boss bitch. I'm nursing. So on June 23rd, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed for life in the Taunton Insane Hospital. Soon after the trial, the New York Journal printed what was purported to be Toppan's confession to her lawyer that she had killed more than 31 people and that she wanted the jury to find her insane so she could eventually have a chance at being released. Whether or not that was truly Toppan's intention is unknown. Can you still get off on killing 31 people and being insane?
I mean, that's a lot, but I feel like when there's just one
you can.
case,
they let you,
that happens sometimes, but that one's pretty extreme.
They do it a lot where they release them to the family and then the family gets them their own place or whatever.
More often than that, I feel like it's that they get put in a form of jail that's basically just an asylum. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's just a mental health care facility, but they're still on lockdown. It's just a different kind. It's a kind with psychiatrist. You know, like that's it.
Pills.
Yeah.
I'll take you have pills in jail too and in prison, but
yeah.
She was remembered by the facility staff as a quiet old lady, but some people remember how she used to beckon patients into her room saying, "Get some morphine, dearie, and we'll go out in the ward. You and I will have a lot of fun seeing them die." Fucking old bag of bones.
That's terrifying.
She's so scary. Like, you mean you wanted to bake me some cookies, right? Like,
can you rephrase that? You want to knit? You want to start a knitting club? You want to play bingo?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to kill people with morphine. You're a fucking scary horror film lady.
Big bag of dust. She remained at Taunton for the rest of her life and died in August 1938 at the age of 84.
I know it says Taunton, like with an O, but I imagine Tauntauns from Star Wars every time I see it.
Tauntaun.
Every time. I'm like, I know what they mean, but I'm just going to picture something cute in my head.
This is better.
This is making that murder story easier to swallow. Moving on from the healthcare field, we're actually going to talk about a man that was in the military. So similar theme with their job and position and their field that they work in being part of their double lives. Russell Williams was born in Bromsgrove, England in 1963. I feel like this era and his choice of what he does for a living is very oppressive and strict. Like the 60s and, I don't know, that Mad Men kind of era, plus you're in the military. Like, I feel like that's ripe for making a double life. Like, of course you do. You have nothing to do except for have a crew cut and, like, be clean cut, dude, you know?
My Nana was in the military.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
It's okay for Canada. He was real cool.
Oh, I'm sorry, but he was awesome.
Oh, well, my bomb, not my Nana.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. Either way, someone in the family. But yeah, it's very similar to the story.
Everybody but him.
Yeah. He might have, I don't think he had a double life. He's cool. He's chill.
His family immigrated to Canada, where they moved to Chalk River, Ontario. William's parents divorced when he was only 6 years old, and soon after, his mother remarried a family friend and neighbor.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I know. And the thing is looking the information up and finding out about it, sounds scandalous just to, like, summarize it like that, but it seemed like it was a family, a neighbor, whatever, that they spent a lot of time with. Like, it was super scandalous. It was a kind of family friend where they go on vacations together.
No.
Yeah. It wasn't just like, oh, the person that lives down the street that we don't really know.
Yeah.
It was someone that they spent a ton of time with and were really close. And then she was like, okay, I'm out. We're going to get married.
Shady.
Very shady lady. After moving to Scarborough Bluffs in Ontario, Williams began high school. In his free time, he was a paperboy and he played piano. By 1979, his family had moved to South Korea, where his stepfather was working.
He's making that paper and, fine-tuning his skills. I like him right now.
So it's weird because his family relocated, went all the way to South Korea. It's not like, oh, we live, in LA, but we're moving to Orange County. They went to another country and they left him. That's the weirdest thing. So he was only in high school.
Like by himself?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. The family relocated and he stayed in Canada.
That's kind of like my dream. That would have been dope. Like, peace out. House parties all day long.
You'd have been so kid and play.
Yeah. Like, dude, if I know they're going to come back from South Korea, I got at least 17 hours before they get here to clean up the house.
Yeah, that's far enough away to get away with some gnarly stuff. Yeah. But that's just terrible. It's just crazy to me that his family just up and left him. Like, I could never imagine my family doing that,
Oh, I could imagine mine. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
We come from very different families.
Yeah. Yin and yang, bro.
Although his family relocated, Williams stayed in Canada and completed his final 2 years of high school as a boarding student in Toronto's Upper Canada College.
Oh, they left him at boarding school?
Yes.
So he wasn't at home.
Yeah,
chilling.
He had supervision.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that changes things a little bit, but it's still being without your parents.
Yeah. It's probably all dude house parties.
Yeah. Total sausage party.
I'm going back to those daydreams right now. This is hot.
And so at school, Williams studied economics and political science at the University of Toronto, Scarborough, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in 1986. On June 1st, 1991, he married Mary Elizabeth Harriman, who is an associate director of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada. His hobbies were photography, fishing, and running, and golfing. It seems like they kind of had this active lifestyle. Like, those were his hobbies, and that's how he explained himself. But it seemed like she was kind of on board with all that. She was a super active lady. He enrolled in the Canadian Forces in 1987 and received his flying wings in 1990. Williams was promoted to captain, then major in 1999. He obtained a master's in defense studies from the Royal Military College of Canada in 2004 with a 55-page thesis that supported preemptive war in Iraq.
This is a smart dude.
Yeah, and really driven. And that's not, that just detailed like a few promotions in a short span of time, but there's even more of him. Him and his wife moved to Orleans in Ottawa, and then in July 2006, he was promoted to lieutenant colonel and then colonel by 2009. So he's in the middle of 6 promotions?
Yeah, he's making moves.
Yeah.
He's really disciplined, which that's what I kind of like about the military. It just makes you super clean, super neat, and disciplined.
Right. And they fight battles that I wouldn't want to fight. But that's, a whole nother thing.
Oh, yeah, that's part too. I forgot to do that.
Although his professional life was progressing pretty well, his personal life was not doing so hot. Him and his wife split in December 2010, and they started filing for divorce around that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, he's a gnarly dude, so I can understand.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't that fun at home.
Yeah. That double life thing.
Right? Williams' biggest promotion came on July 15th, 2009, when he was sworn in as the wing commander at Canadian Forces Base of Trenton, which was Canada's busiest airport base and locus of support for the overseas military operations.
He's a boss bitch too, damn.
Yeah, he's a boss bitch dude. Mm-hmm. Williams was described as an elite pilot and a shining bright star of the military. He had flown Queen Elizabeth II, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Governor-General of Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada, and many other dignitaries across Canada and overseas in Canadian Forces VIP aircraft, which I'm gathering is like Air Force One for Canada. Yeah.
Killing the game before he kills people.
He's just gearing up for killing people. In his personal life, he had pedophiliac tendencies that he kept secret, and he began stealing underwear of girls as young as 9 years old. Yeah. Super barf. Williams committed his first offense in the home of his next-door neighbors. The families had spent quite a lot of time together, and Russell Williams seemingly had a close relationship with their children.
For their panties.
Right? Just trying to put that work in to get close. Williams waited until the family went out of town and snuck into the home. He dressed himself in the 12-year-old daughter's underwear, masturbated, stole underwear, and left a message on her computer saying merci, as in the French word for thank you. Super creeper.
What a fucking dick. Oh my God.
This guy is gnarly. I mean, I know we've been talking about him making moves and stuff, but honestly, I fucking hate this guy. Like, I hate this guy so much.
I'd respect him more if it was like in German or something. But the fact that it was in French is just so like pompous and just douchey. Like, ugh, thanks for letting me come on your 12-year-old panties. Like, or 12, whatever. You know what I mean. Jesus,
gross.
But gross,
yeah,
dude.
Super creeper. Williams' urges and crimes progressed from break-ins to non-penetration sexual assaults and finally to rape and murder. In November 2009, Williams began to target Marie France Cameau, a 37-year-old corporal he knew from the military base. He first canvassed her home by breaking in while she was not there. Williams broke into her home through a basement window at the back of the house while Marie was out of town. Once inside, Williams confirmed that his victim lived alone and remained in the home for more than an hour.
That's ballsy.
Right?
It's way too long.
That's way, way too long. I mean, 1 foot in the door, 30 seconds is too long, but damn, an hour? You know how time, like, slows down when you're doing certain things? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Like putting on 12-year-olds' panties and stuff?
That's exactly what I meant.
Oh, I'm sorry, a 37-year-old corporal.
Yeah,
my bad.
This lady's actually an adult. Like, that makes it any fucking better. You
I like
goddamn
adult
creeper.
panties, too. Yeah. Fine.
He took pictures of himself modeling the underwear and playing with a sex toy.
Was it her sex toy?
It's not specified. I don't know what we're talking here, but no matter what way you slice it, it's gross.
It's an anal plug.
It's gotta be.
And he like is looking at himself in the mirror. He's got like a thong on. He bends over, spreads his cheeks, you know.
He's seriously wearing her lingerie and just like watching himself. Ugh, so gross.
He was feeling himself. feeling himself. Oh my God. It'd have been worse if he found her like cell phone and took him on her phone.
Oh my God. That would be like a movie or something.
Yeah. And then I just had jerked off with my own sex toy or something, and then I just like, fuck. It was just in my ass.
You just found it and you're like afterwards playing with your phone. Yeah, gross.
So gross. Ugh.
So he left after hanging out in her house for a while, but then he came back when she returned from vacation. And when he returned to her house, when he knew she was home, he concealed himself in this furnace area for like 30 or 40 minutes, just waiting for her.
You're fucking Santa Claus. Just peeping Tom Santa Claus.
But he thought that she was going to go to bed, but she didn't go to bed because she was searching for one of her cats. And her cat, she found it when it was just standing in front of Williams looking at him.
Oh,
because the cat found him and was like, who the fuck is this guy?
No.
And she wouldn't go to bed until she found her cat. And when she found him, then Williams attacked her.
Moral of the story, get a dog.
Like, yeah, these dogs are vocal as shit.
The cat was probably just
a little yappy dog too.
Yeah, yap. Yeah, it was probably, the cat was probably going in and out doing like 8s in between his legs.
Right, just pet me. Pet me.
Just fucking bitch cat. Oh my God.
Yeah, no.
That's the scariest thing though. If you're like looking for your cat and you're looking down clearly,
right,
and then you probably see some feet and
you look up. Oh,
yeah, not cool, man.
Yeah, that's terrifying. So when she found her cat, she found him and he attacked her. He sexually assaulted her and eventually he murdered her.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the cat?
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't find any info on the cat.
I'm just kidding. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a really
awful.
shitty thing to see right before you die too. That's
right?
Not.
Like,
it's like the whole when you like wash your face and then I imagine like someone's going to be behind me in my mirror when I'm looking.
That happens to me every night before I go to bed. I like look down and then I look up and I'm like, murderer. I know there's a murderer there. Every time I close my eyes, I'm convinced there's a murderer behind me.
Yeah. I try and wash my eyes really quickly in my face, but then I always get soap in my eyes. So I'm trying to look for the murder, but I'm like killing myself with soap in my eyes and just like, why did I?
And then you come out of the bathroom, Kelly, did you smoke a bowl? No, I was just trying to not get murdered while washing my face.
Yeah. And it's funny because I lock the door when I go to the bathroom too. So it's like, why the fuck would I think someone was behind me? That's so stupid. But
I mean, I'm an idiot. I leave my door open and I think that. But it's like, of course I do because my door is open like an idiot. Yeah, I need to lock my door.
Yeah, lock it. I lock my door everywhere.
Some things.
Lock it up.
On January 28th, 2010, Williams entered the bedroom of 27-year-old Jessica Lloyd while she was sleeping. He woke her, tied her up, and covered her eyes with duct tape. He then took photos of her wearing what she had worn to bed, which was kind of casual, like a tank top and some jogging pants or yoga pants or something. Then he recorded himself raping her. Following the sexual assault, Williams decided to take Jessica to his home where he forced her to take a shower and then raped her again.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, the showering part really gets me. That's just so
he wants
awful.
to clean you off and then
it's
just like delaying the torture.
Yes.
Like you don't know if you're gonna live, you don't know if you're gonna die, you don't know what's gonna happen. It's just the worst.
God, that's just terrifying. Investigators identified distinctive tire tracks left in the snow near her home. So 1 week after her disappearance, the police conducted an extensive canvassing of all motorists using the highway near her home. They were looking for unusual tire treads. An officer noticed the similarity of Williams' tire treads, and they were subsequently matched to the treads found near the victim's home. That's awesome that they were so proactive about it.
Yeah, but what if the snow melts, you know? And like,
well, I guess they probably just quickly took impressions.
Oh, okay,
like, it was probably cold enough to preserve it at the time, and then they were just really quick with it.
Cool.
But
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I don't know what the weather was like on January 29th in 2010.
We're in California, so if it rained or if it snowed, it would be 90 degrees the next day. So there's no evidence.
So on February 7th, 2010, Williams was asked to come in for questioning. During the 10-hour interview, he confessed to numerous crimes for which he was later convicted. In the confession, Williams gave details of his crimes, including the sexual assaults, break-ins, and thefts. Some of them occurred in Ottawa homes within walking distance of his Orleans, Ontario home, where he lived with his wife. Other break-ins and thefts occurred in Belleville and in Tweed, where the couple had a cottage since 2004.
I smoke a lot of tweed.
I have like a nice tweed jacket. Early the next morning, Williams led investigators to the woman's body in a secluded area, only 13 minutes away from where he lived. Along with the murder charges, Williams was charged with breaking and entering, forcible confinement, and the sexual assault of 2 other women in connection with 2 separate home invasions. According to reports, the women had been bound in their homes, and the attacker had taken photos of them. Hours after the announcement of Williams' arrest, police services across the country reopened unsolved homicide cases involving young women in areas where Williams had previously been stationed throughout his military career. That's awesome. Of course, they need to do that because you don't know how many people, even with his confession, he probably didn't know some of them. He couldn't give names, you know?
It's like people you fuck. Like, you just lose count over time. No. You know what I mean? You're just like, I don't remember Dave.
That's what it's like for him with murder.
Yeah. Just in so many. I can't.
Oh, you lose count, right?
Yeah.
It was eventually discovered that he made 82 fetish-related home invasions and attempted break-ins between September 2007 and November 2009. So it's only 2 years, so 40, Jesus.
That's at least 3 a month.
That's crazy. He'd kept detailed track of police reports of the crimes he was committing. He logged his crimes and he kept photos and videos and even left notes and messages for his victims. There's a ton of photos out there of him in lingerie. It's on our Instagram if you want to go check it, and it's on Facebook and it's everywhere. But I suggest you look him up because it's creepy as shit. And he has this weird pose. I don't know it's just super manly. I don't even know how to explain it. Like his shoulders are all back. Like it's not flexing, but it's like this weird, like
broad,
like bucked up kind of like, trying to look bigger than he is, like an animal would do in the wild, like just trying to look all crazy.
Puffing his chest out.
Yeah. And so he's like wearing like pink frilly lingerie and just in that gnarly manly pose.
He's tough and sensual at the same time.
Oh no.
Best of both worlds.
It's disgusting and awful. Oh my God. So he took thousands of pictures of his crimes and had kept the photos on his computer. He also stole trophies, keepsakes, and underwear from the victims. Numerous pictures of Williams dressed in the various pieces of underwear and bras he had stolen were found, and he was frequently pictured masturbating while lying on the beds of his victims.
Oh my God. Oh no! I would just throw that mattress out.
Right,
oh, wait,
or just burn it.
Sorry, that's fucked. I feel so fucking bad. I forget these things.
You have to remember that murder victims are actually not living.
And they can't take care of their fucking beds. I'm an idiot. Oh my God.
No, but there's a lot of people, I'm just messing with you. There was a lot of people, obviously, that were survivors, and he had all these break-ins. Not every one of them was a murderer. So there was a ton of people that got to see these pictures of this dude in their clothes, like their most intimate clothes, on their most intimate space in their house.
Yeah.
Jerking off.
Their butt plugs in his butt. You know what I mean? That's too far.
Oh, God. Way too far.
I would cry.
Yeah, that is intense. So on February 8th, 2010, he was dismissed from his position as the base commander at Trenton due to the criminal charges. On April 2010, Williams was placed on suicide watch at Quinte Detention Center in Napanee, Ontario, after he tried to kill himself by wedging a stuffed cardboard toilet paper roll down his throat. I think that's a really, really stupid way to try and kill yourself. On October 18th, 2010, Williams pled guilty to all charges. On the first day of Williams' trial and guilty plea, details emerged of other sexual assaults he committed. On October 21st, 2010, Williams was sentenced to 2 life sentences for first-degree murder, 2 10-year sentences for other sexual assault, plus 2 10-year sentences for forcible confinement, and 82 one-year sentences for breaking and entering, all to be served concurrently. I should have totaled that up, but that's just a lot of years.
Once you said life, I'm like, they're just adding on stuff. I mean, but
it needed to be.
Yeah,
if I was
for the victims.
Yeah, if I was a family member or the victim, I mean, that would just, of course, he needs to be sentenced. Even if it's past life, keep sentencing him. Yeah.
Plus 432 years.
Yep. Keep going. On October 22nd, 2010, Williams was stripped of his commission, ranks, and awards by the Governor General of Canada on the recommendation of the Chief of Defense Staff. His severance pay was terminated, and the salary he received following his arrest was seized, although he is still entitled to a pension.
You still get benefits?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What the fuck? That needs to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subsequent to his convictions, his uniform was burned, his medals were destroyed, and his vehicle was crushed and scrapped.
But his pension still stands.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they did that to all his stuff, but damn, he shouldn't be getting anything. That's crazy.
Well, fuck you, Colonel Williams.
Thanks, you guys, for checking out another episode of Murder Dictionary.
Thank you so much.
So if you want to find us on social media, we are Murder Dictionary on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Backpage.
Craigslist.
Everywhere.
Tinder, Grindr.
We are in you. And we would also really appreciate if you guys could rate, review, and subscribe. That would be awesome.
Please.
And one thing that you could also do to support us is to tell your friends and and family and anyone who is a true crime fanatic about our podcast. We'd love to grow our following, and it's one way that you guys could really support us. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, tell the lady at the grocery store.
Just a random person. Go up to them and be like, let me tell you about this murder. If you want more murder, check out Murder Dictionary.
Just yell Murder Dictionary. Murder Dictionary! It's murder!
Stand on a corner and do your Ja Rule impression.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle. It took 15 minutes to take a spirit animal quiz online.
Please be the cheetah. Please be the cheetah.
And learn your animal isn't the cheetah, but the far less appealing blobfish.
Oh, come on.
To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 blobfish minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle. It took 15 minutes to take a spirit animal quiz online.
Please be the cheetah. Please be the cheetah.
And learn your animal isn't the cheetah, but the far less appealing blobfish.
Oh, come on.
To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 blobfish minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.